Okay, so we're back to regular programming. How are we doing today? Yeah, so we've been talking about investing for the most part of the last 8 videos, and of course, I've shared as much that I feel is necessary to help guide your mind regarding the concept of investing because I believe that many of us have been mostly misguided by our approach. So you see many of us chasing high returns that are not backed by any value creation or any sort of system that guarantees that value is created. And because of that, many of us have gotten burnt. You put your money in something, and that thing does not return, or sometimes it returns, but in a few months time you have spent all of it. You're wondering, okay, but I invested in this at some point, I did this, I did that. But like I said, the most important part of your investment or your investing journey is to first sit down and draw a map for a long time. So, for example, for me, it's about the next generations. Yes. So, what I'm building, what I'm doing is to a large extent to set a precedence and also build a platform that my children can ride on and expand onto the next generation. So it's not just about me having enough money to live the good life or flex or appear to be enjoying my best life. you know it's more about me doing enough for the next generation to be better than this one. Yes, because I always say that my parents did not give me money, but they did give me a lot of training that helped me to, calibrate my value system. And that has helped me to a large extent focus on different priorities. Most of my friends are always surprised by my lack of interest in doing certain things or being in certain ways. I remember some time ago when I bought a new car and I refused to take a picture with it because I didn't want it to make itself to find that picture online and then have to begin to explain or begin to face a lot of bills, because when people see certain things, they assume that, oh, this person is in a good place, so I might as well bill him. So I refused to take a picture within. In fact, one of my friends who took a picture in the car and put it online started getting a lot of billing. And it was like, wow, that now he understands why I refused to take a picture inside and put it online. And it's just some of these things that we talk about. You have to understand what your values are, and like I said, until you have a clear picture of where you're going or what you're building, you will not understand the things that need to cut off. So for example, I've always wanted a very simple and quiet life, and because of that, it means that there are certain things that I cannot project online about myself, just because if I do, I will not be able to have the quiet life that I always wanted. Yes. And I'm also teaching my kids to appreciate the value of, you know, little things, not just, um, you know, luxury today is overrated. The word is over bastardized, especially in Nigeria, is horrible. Anyway, so the point here is your destination determines the the decisions you're going to make around the values you're going to embrace, the systems you're going to put in place, the kind of people you're going to, you know, connect with, and all those other variables. Yes. And so once that is done, you can then map out a simple strategy. So, for example, you say, okay, I'm saving 30% or 20% of my income every month. 50% of that savings or 30% of that savings will go into a certain asset class. Now, there are different asset classes you can think about for investment. Remember, investing is continuous and incremental. So it's not just about throwing money somewhere in hope that tomorrow the money will be more. That's not the essence. The essence is first and foremost to build yourself to the point where you can attract the things that you want. Yes. So, if, for example, you're lacking knowledge in many things, so for example, um, you want to. So, I've always said that I want to, in my old age, be a music going for jazz concerts all over the world. And so I would love to be able to master the bass guitar and, stuff like that. And because of that, I made investments in building my own personal studio. So I bought the equipment and all of that. But I've not dedicated time for that yet because, of course, I still have a little more time before my old age in quotes. But what I intend to do, obviously, is to go to music school and learn some of the basics, some of the other necessary things before then building on it, from my own creative abilities. But the point here is because I have a focus in mind, because here's the thing, when you understand the specifics of what you want, you can recognize seasons more uh, easier. Yes, it's easier for you to recognize seasons when you understand what you're working at. Yes, so for example, I've always said that I wanted my kids to go to Harvard. So every job, every investment I've done is towards that direction. So that when it's time for them, they still have quite a bit of time before it's time to go to the university. But I believe by the time they're ready to go, I will be in a better place to be able to support whatever decision they make, even though I would want them to go to Harvard. So at the end of the day, it means that whether they go to Harvard or not, of course, if they choose not to go to Harvard, it's an advantage because it means I will spend much less. But if they choose to go to Harvard and they're, able to break into that, of course, I want to be in a place where I can support them and see them through that. Yes. Now, that is my own dream. It may not be their own dream. Yes. But because we are building a family dynasty, which means that our dreams must align. And that's why I'm exposing my kids to the highest of standards in every area. So even when we go out and we see something, we try to understand the quality of work that goes into the process of producing that. Yes, so even my 8-year-old, already understands that there's work to do to make money. If she always tells me, oh, she likes to teach people things, things that she learns, she likes to teach other people. And she would hope that someday she would put that online and be able to make money from it. And she's just 8. And that's remarkable because it shows that she's learning a lot from those that are, ahead of her. But the point here is that because we have our futures defined, it becomes a lot easier to be specific about the things we want to do. Whether we want to be big on stock, because whether you buy 20 stocks or 50 stocks or one stock, it's just one asset class. Yes, if something sweeps through the stock market and makes it crash, all the stocks will follow suit. Yes, I think it was last week that the American stock market lost about $1 trillion in one day. That's a bloodbath, and it's not uncommon with the market. And that's why, like I said, it's important for you to be clear about what future you want to build, and then begin to put in the work. Yes, so in the next few videos, I'm going to share some of the asset classes you may begin to consider to invest in, and then hopefully you'll find the one that works for you. So have a wonderful week and see you in the next video.